There's a brand new one for Eddie Grant from 3SA's present pop survey. Do you feel my love? 3SA's weather will be a top of 32 degrees with a cool change later this evening. At 3SA at the moment, the temperature is 31 degrees.
Size of manufactured quality suits and sports clothes for 52 years. By selling directly to you, they save you $40 on normal retail prices. So save at sales. Three convenient locations.
The introduction of FM radio has created an ever-increasing demand for radio announcers. But where do they all come from? Certainly not out of thin air. They all have to start somewhere. And for many young Melbourne radio announcers, this tiny home in Grosvenor Street, East St Kilda, is the starting point. The only hint you get that this is the 3SA Announcers Training Centre is a tiny sign on the front of the house. But over the years, hundreds of young guys have come through here to learn the craft. And the guy who teaches it all to them is Clarke Sinclair.
What is taught here is voice production, commercial reading, news reading, and of course program arranging. We edit and present our own local news. We do commercial production. We also have a high concentration here on sports coordination. We do all of that, plus of course the work at the panel, at the console.
What does that entail?
Well, that entails actually learning how to operate the panel, learning what it's all about, what the panel is all about. You know, it's a bit like driving a car. You need to know the panel, you need to know the switches, you need to know the controls back to front, because while you're doing all of that, you're having to talk at the same time, and the concentration of the two make it very difficult.
Clarke, what qualifications do the students have to have before you accept them into your training course?
Well, first of all, a good voice, not a brilliant voice, but a good voice, good personality, and a lot of enthusiasm.
Goodness, there must have been some names come through here in the last, nearly 30 years, isn't it? Who are some of the names you've trained?
We've had people here like Brian Martin, the race caller from UZ, George Danes from UZ, Rob Asprey from Channel 10, Mel Walden has been here, and there have been many, many others. Graham Cumming from Channel 9 is another name I bring to mind right off the top of my head.
Mm.
And of course Greg Evans. Things haven't really changed much. I'm a little more mellow than usual now.
Oh, I see. Because I remember you were a tyrant to work for when I was here.
Are you interested in finding a reliable, one-stop source of steel building materials?
Bruce, I think you could stop it there and give more emphasis to the word reliable, because reliable is a point that you're suggesting as that firm or that sponsor you're going to talk about is definitely reliable. So therefore I believe there should be more emphasis on reliable. So you just try it again next time round and emphasise reliable. Frank?
When you're shopping for tiles, there's nothing worse than setting your heart on a design, then finding it's out of stock. That never happens at a Crosby Tile Centre, because all
the students do the course part-time, and they work several hours to keep 3SA on the air. It operates for 7 hours on Thursday and Friday, and all weekends. Their programs range from pop, jazz and classical music to old-time serials like What's On, even Dad and Dave. The program goes out on a landline to houses in the local area. How long have you been listening to 3SA?
Oh, about 30 years.
30 years, goodness gracious. Why do you like listening to 3SA?
Oh, it's very interesting, really interesting.
Get a few requests on and all that, do you? You must have heard a lot of mistakes over the years with the new announcers.
Yes.
Doesn't worry you at all? No?
Everybody makes mistakes, I suppose.
Brand new one for Eddie Grant now on 3SA. Do You Feel My Love? 20 to 11.
Grenville, why do you want to become a radio announcer?
Well, I was at a bit of a loose end when I finished Form 5. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I'd thought about being a radio announcer before, but I always thought that kind of thing you didn't do.
What kind of thing?
Well, in the media or something, if sort of those people weren't real or they're only on television. And then my parents met somebody who'd done the course, and so they got in contact with Clarke, and I came down and I was interested. Been uphill all the way from there.
How old are you now?
I'm 17 now, 18 this year.
And when do you anticipate getting a job in the country?
Oh, I don't know, Clarke says maybe 12 months.
I get calls from all over Australia, and particularly in Victoria and of course all Melbourne, from radio stations wanting people, wanting announcers, wanting DJs to do a variety of shifts. And then we make up a tape, an audition tape, which is usually straight off the air program here at 3SA, and we send that, and that is a sample of the person's work, and the manager or program manager hears the work and decides yes or no whether the person has the job or not.
So there's actually a follow-through there from you too.
Right, oh yes, because I believe if I'm going to train people, I've got to get them jobs.
What do your parents and your mates say when you tell them you want to become a disc jockey?
Well, my parents are pretty rough because they can say, oh, my son's on radio, and Dad always brags about it, but you've got to wait a while until I actually get there. I know that. And my mates, they respect me and they're just proud of it.
Clarke Sinclair has recently been awarded a British Empire Medal for his services to the radio industry. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are thankful for that. Wonder if I can still do it. Let's see, headphones on, record on. This is Split Ends on 3SA. Huh? Oh, wrong speed. Nothing's changed.
That's a whole